Hey there, this is Malorian, and this will be a Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report at 2,500 points, and it's going to be my Wood Elves against some Lizardmen. And this is going to be my first game with the new Wood Elves, and yeah, mistakes were made. I guess the first thing I should be showing here is that I have my list that's really full of Glade Riders and Deepwood Scouts, and because of that, I almost started with nothing. Really, my deployment was 2 Eagles and my level 4. And because of that, my level 4 is having to hide behind this house. So that was kind of an interesting start. I'm going to be going up against a Lizardman, like I said. I'm actually selling my Lizardman, so he came over to pick up a bunch of stuff. And I said, hey, if you're coming over, let's have a game. And I always think that's a great way to do it. You know, the times I have sold something, if you're getting together, why not just have a game too? Something interesting here is that since I started with almost nothing, the roll for scouts was huge. He won the roll for scouts, and so got to put down these chameleons first. And of course, the biggest thing I do not want to happen is that he comes down and just kills my level 4 in general right off the bat. Luckily, he set it up a little bit too far away so that I had room to put in my scouts here as well, so that if he wants to come in, at least I'm giving myself hard cover. But yeah, definitely a real issue with not having a bunker to start in. So otherwise, the way that my army is looking from left to right is I have some scouts, I have an eagle, I have my way watchers, 9 of them with 2 way stalkers. Then I have my level 4, I have more scouts. He has a salamander, an ancient stegodon, lots of temple guard, like 30-ish of them. Then he has his slan, that's going to be going with the high magic and all that cool stuff. Some skirmishers, some skinks in the back with a priest, a big unit of Saurus, a Bastillodon. For terrain over here, we got the Weirding Well, Ghost Fence, and the forest there is my free one, which I said was going to be a Venom Thicket. On the right side here, I have 2 more units of scouts. I have another eagle. Off the board, I have 3 units of 10 Glade Riders and the 3 units of 5 Glade Riders. And then he's going to be having another unit of scouts, or sorry, skirmisher skinks, and another salamander. And over here for terrain, that's the Chimerian Quicksand, and that's an Elven Waystone that was in the settlement, and a little hill here at the back. So really, when it comes to a game like this, the big thing I need to do is kill off all of the things that can really threaten my mobility. So his skinks, his salamanders, his chameleon skinks for sure, those are the big targets that need to go down quick. So luckily, I win the first turn. Well, I get the +1 because I have like 3 drops. But the chameleons, I kill all but 1, and he fails his leadership test and runs away. Otherwise, over here, my shooting is able to kill the salamander, which was nice to get that guy down. And that's really it. So then on his turn, he's going to be doing some pretty good damage to me. I was actually just thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe over a couple of rounds of magic, or sorry, shooting, I can actually snipe out a slan or something cool like that. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen because he gets off his fiery convocation and decimates this unit. So I lose 5 of the Way Watchers, a wound on one of the Waystalkers, and luckily it wasn't worse. You know, one of the Waystalkers was not injured. He could have killed more, but really what this means is they really lost a lot of their numbers, and as well, I'm going to lose my next magic phase. Like already my first magic phase, I did nothing because I had to hide, and then this magic phase here, yeah, again, I just did pretty much, I'll have to do nothing because I'll have to dispel it. So anyway, at the end of his turn, he's really just moving on up. The Chameleon Skink is going to fail to rally. And then on my turn 2, here comes a reinforcement. So I get all 3 units of 5, 1 of the units of 10, and really my goal this turn is I'm not ready to deal with the big targets, and that Stegodon can really cause me some harm. So I'm going to have to move away from it, really focusing here on the right side, trying to kill off both these units and hopefully the other skinks as well. I get off a Pit of Shades, but unfortunately it scatters off. And then otherwise, my shooting goes pretty poorly. I mean, I'm hitting on 3+ because I'm taking the True Flight arrows, which I love, but my dice just go totally against me, and really, it takes a lot to just kill off the skinks, and then only do 1 wound to this salamander. Now, that's not so bad because he has to take a panic test at leadership 5, but he passes. So, you know, I should be okay, but I was really hoping to do more. Otherwise, over here, I couldn't quite kill off the skinks, and that's really it. So, didn't quite get done my objectives for the turn, but hey, from Magic Phase, I rolled like 12 or 11 dice, so I was able to stop Fiery Convocation and go for Pit of Shade, so that was pretty nice. But yeah, could have been better. Otherwise, on his turn, he gets off the spell so that he gets to move these guys 20 inches. I just let that one go through because I just don't really even care. With my army being all either skirmishers or fast cav, you can put a unit right in front of me and I'll just take right off. Otherwise, the salamander gets a pretty bad shot, only rolls a 2, kills only 3 guys, but I fail my panic test and run off the board. So really, this is really bad for me because whenever you're playing Wood Elves in this type of style, little points are what you're going to win or lose by. So losing this unit of 10 to something like this was not really good whatsoever. Otherwise, really kind of looks like this. So he's kind of pushing up a little bit with the rest of his forces. Nothing too threatening yet. And yeah, I definitely now have the time where I can switch back now and try and focus my fire on that Stegodon. So on this side here, I actually fail my march test with my scouts, so I'm forced to move up an eagle to go and redirect the Saurus away. Otherwise, everything shoots into that salamander. I'm like, oh yeah, it's dead for sure. Nope. Just do 1 wound with all those shots. Meanwhile, over here, my shots are able to take down the Stegodon. You know, at this point here, I actually forgot that I have armor-pierced arrows, so it really came down to him failing his 3+ saves. I also tried with my shadow magic to reduce its toughness to make it easier, but he stopped that. But either way, the big thing I just want to see, I mean, just when you keep in mind those armor-pierced arrows and what the Way Watchers can do, they can actually do very well at taking down monsters. I mean, sure, if I had the poison arrows, that might work out a lot better for me for taking down monsters, but man, with just volume of shots and just hitting on 3+s, you do it the True Flight as well. On his turn, he's going to go into the Eagle, and we know what's going to happen here. But actually, we didn't know what happened because it turned out he did not kill the eagle. I was left with 1 wound, so I broke. He had to chase me because there's no skink nearby, and he actually caught me, but he's off here in a corner and not where he wanted to be. So otherwise, in his magic phase, he gets off another irresistible spell and gets off a big old soul quench, which decimates the scout unit that I have my general in, and otherwise the little skinks gets a lucky 6, kills off a Way Watcher, and that's pretty much all he can do in his turn. So on my turn here, I finally kill the salamander, so about time. And then otherwise, I decide to kind of focus on, I kill off the 2 skinks that are left from the 1 unit, and then this was kind of embarrassing. I have 2 Way Stalkers, and 3 now Way Watchers, all trying to snipe that 1 skink priest, only do 1 wound. So, again, dice aren't really there, but it's nothing too critical. Others shooting into just the unit is able to bring it down pretty much to the point where it's not really a worry. I mean, even the eagle's there, so I could charge it if I really wanted. But one of the things I was thinking here is that things are actually looking pretty good. On his turn, though, I'm going to start losing some points again. He gets off a laser beam because I can't roll at least a 10 with 3 dice. Couldn't roll a 9 on 3 dice. And anyway, he zaps down and kills an eagle. So there's another 50 points for him. And here's another nasty one. Again, he gets Irresistible Force for another Soul Quench. Crushes now the secondary scout unit that my general has gone to. And look at my panic there. Again, I fail my panic. And this is really bad. Really, really bad. However, the dice gods decide to be nice to me, and I actually hit this unit, so I pop over, so I'm actually going to be safe here on the other side. So otherwise, kind of looks like this. He's really just moving up and doing what he can. I mean, before he hit me with magic, the source reformed to face the center. But at this point here, there's not too much else they can do to catch me. So on my turn, I'm able to shoot down the bunker. Those are some pretty nice points to have. Would have been really nice to actually shoot the Bastiladon as well. However, at this point, I didn't even bother shooting because I forgot about having armor pierce. And I'm like, needing 6s, 2+ save. I'm just gonna be wasting time. But really, with that armor pierce and it now being a 3+ save, I really should have been going for that. But what can you do? As well, my general rally, so that was really awesome. And then on his turn, he goes off with his stupid laser beam again and kills off all the Way Watchers, the injured Way Stalker, and then injures the other Way Stalker. So again, giving up points, and that's something I can't really afford to do. So after this is all done, it kind of looks more like this. Yeah, again, it's just his units trying to get something. His magic phase, other than that super laser beam, really didn't do anything. On my turn, I focus fire onto the Bastiladon and take that guy down. So that was really due to some pretty lucky dice. But yeah, again, those armor pierce, now that we knew about armor pierce, that really, really helped. So every time I got a 6, they can sneak in those wounds, and there's only 4 of them, and then bam, you get a monster. So finally on his turn, really there's not much left for him to do because all the spells he's been getting off has been with Irresistible Force. I still have my scroll, so I finally get to use my scroll in turn 6, shut down the magic phase, and that's the game. So there you go. It was a win for the Wood Elves, but yeah, the game like this was kind of... Okay, here's the thing about this game. First of all, I really love the wild, sorry, not the Wild Riders. I really like the Glade Riders. The whole idea where they're coming in from ambush. I rolled poorly, and one of them didn't come into almost... 2 of the units didn't come into like pretty much the very end, but even then they're just, you can't stop them. They come in, the True Flight arrows, they can be running all they want, shooting anywhere they want, and just hitting on 3s all the time. Really liking the Way Watchers, really liking the Way Stalker, loving the fact that I can now, since I have all my core going into the Glade Riders, all my Glade Guard can just become Deepwood Scouts, so I'm so mobile and I'm just going all over the place. The big thing, of course, is I need something for my general to go into. I will not always have a house to hide behind, so I need to have something there. So I'm going to have to change the list to have something for her to go into. Sisters of Everlorn is what I would like to do, so I'd have to change up the points to get them in. But overall, I did really like the list. There's a few things I took that, I kind of put them in, but I didn't really need them to. Like, I had the Hail of Doom on my level 4, which is kind of a silly thing, but why not, right? But the main thing that came down to this game again is it's just like the old days with the Wood Elves. I come in, I shoot down what can hurt me, and then I'm running around. And really, in this game here, he was really well suited even to deal with my army because he has skinks to deal with my mobility, he has the salamanders, he has the stegodon that has the double blowpipes, he has his slan that can be going with its magic and had some pretty good magic missiles, and even then, and even with me having some bad luck with some panic tests, I was still able just to, on my initial turns, shoot down all the threats and then dance around. And it's one of those things where, here I am playing against this new person I've never played before, never met before. This is a thing where, like, hey, we can start playing more in the future. And I'm sure it's not really a game that leaves you saying, like, oh, wow, that was awesome. I want to come back. I want to do this again. It's kind of like, wow, I never want to do this again. Especially from my side, I'm like, yeah, Wood Elves, go Wood Elves. But really, for him, it must have been just fairly frustrating knowing that most of the time you couldn't really do anything. I mean, you can 6 dice Soul Quench and try and kill things that way, but that was really all he really had. So, past from that, I don't really know. Don't expect me to be doing Wood Elves a lot. I will pull them out now and then, but really, this is where our thing where people complain about my high elf army that's all dragons running around, but at least that army has to engage you, right? At least you get to do something. With the wood elves, I'm just running around, and all you get to do is make armor saves. Whereas at least with the dragons, sure, it might be a fight that you're screwed because you're fighting 2 dragons and 2 frost phoenixes, but at least you're rolling dice, at least you're attacking. So I don't know, it's a little bit disappointing. I like the style of the wood elves, but I don't like how the game actually unfolds as far as people having fun. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching the battle report, and we'll catch you later. I got another game right away tomorrow. That'll be my orcs up against some lizardmen, and yeah, good times for fantasy.